How are you investing this year? 2023. How is your philosophy of investing? What strategy do you have? Do you have any? Have you taken your money seriously? And if you have, what are some of the things that you have learned that you are applying in 2023? I'd like to hear. But I compiled a few from my side, and I'm titling this episode, How to Invest Your Money in 2023. So let's jump right into the topic for today, which is how to invest your money in 2023. And before I go to know where you should invest, let's go to how. So I'm going to deal with where to invest your money, in my opinion, and how. So can we begin with how? Now, if you're a beginner, first of all, for you to be able to invest your money, you need an income. You need to at least get money coming in daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever period, but you need some funds to be able to invest. So once you start earning your income in whatever way, could be business, could be employment, the first thing, the first investment you need to start building is an emergency fund. Now, an emergency fund is a haven, is a pouch, is a cushion for any eventualities that could come. Because let me tell you, you may invest like a pro and build and build and build, but when you don't have a cushion for an emergency that could happen, everything will come tumbling down, because there's nothing you won't do for a loved one who is unwell and the bill is escalating in hospital. Yeah, so because you love them, because you love yourself, because you have all these things surrounding you called eventualities that could happen, let's build an emergency fund. And how big should this emergency fund be? Actually, this is a whole topic altogether, but I'll just give highlights here and there. First of all, your emergency fund should be at least an equivalent of 6 months to 12 months of your monthly expenses in an investment fund. We no longer put money in the bank. And if you do, you must be able to negotiate a very good rate, probably nothing below 7%. And we all know that is very hard if your amount is not in, say, billions. So you need to have it invested. And an example of where to invest money that is meant for an emergency is a money market fund. If you don't know what a money market fund is, there's an episode on this channel. I'll probably link it on the description, where I'm explaining what is a money market fund or a fixed income fund. A bond fund is also very good for an emergency fund because it conserves your capital based on the underlying assets. They're very conservative. It's treasury bills, short-term commercial papers, and also bonds, and those ones can be called in a short notice. So most of the fund managers that have this fund, you can call your money in 2 to 3, not more than a week. You'll have your money in the bank. So it's good for an emergency fund. So why you should have an emergency fund is it lessens your risk of fear when you're investing. So when you know you have a safe haven, you have a nest, you have something that could take care of you for 6 to 12 months if anything happens to your investment, then you'll be more relaxed to do the riskier, the high yield kind of investments. Number 2, apart from you having less fear around investments, you'll also have less fear around your finances. You won't be tiptoeing and walking on eggshells when it comes to your money. And then number 3, it presents or helps you with recession security. Like, it doesn't take long to like right now we're in a recession. It doesn't take long to get over the recession. Probably 1 year max, or 2 years. Actually 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. So within that year, you'll have a cushion that can take care of your expenses. How cool is that? How cool is that? You can't even fear recession when you have an emergency fund. Number 2, how to invest your money in 2023. Pay off your debt, or at least put a fund together, a portfolio that can run parallel to your debt repayment, that eventually will alleviate or wean you off paying your debt from your pocket. So that way you will not be killing your soldiers on site. By soldiers, I mean your dollars. You will not be sending them to clear your debts, but you will be directing them into a portfolio that is having a return. Maybe now from the proceeds you'll be able to pay the loan. It's hard to do, but it's very, very important, and that's one of the things you should do in 2023. Why? With the high living costs, with the recession, and with everything happening, which will be over at some point, you need to start this cushion so that when everything is said and done, you're not lagging behind in your debts. And we know what happens when you're not paying your loans. The bank will renegotiate with you to lower your installment. What they don't tell you is that that installment that you're paying that is lower than before will cause your interest to compound. I said here before, compounding interest is very good, but you would need to be on the right side of the compounding interest. If you're paying higher interest, you're on the wrong side. If you're investing more, you're on the right side, because the way it multiplies itself on the loan side is the way it will multiply yourself on the investment side. So get on the right side by starting a portfolio that will run parallel to you paying debt, and then eventually, and I feel like I should do an episode separately on debt portfolio, or rather having a portfolio that can take care of your debts eventually. My understanding of loans is that you should only take credit, or you should only take a loan when you know the venture you're going to get into is likely to give you an equivalent of what you're being charged or higher. And right now, because we have high levels of inflation, hopefully it will come down at some point, is you can't afford to take a loan that is charging you the same interest as the returns you're going to get in your business venture, because you will still suffer inflation, so you will be growing negatively. So you need to negotiate an interest rate whereby whatever you're going to do with your money will give you higher. So that's the second point. And the third place, or how you should invest your money in 2023, is in your retirement fund. This is easy because some of us are employed and you have a pension fund. If you don't have any, you should start one for yourself, an individual pension plan. And why this is very important is because it's the easiest way to invest, because it's conservative, then it's easy to do because mostly it's checked off your paycheck before it gets to you. I know you think you have a lot of muscle, but don't trust yourself too much to get the money fast and then you take it to the retirement, to the investment that you require personally. It may not happen. So anything that you want to do that is investment related or retirement related in regards to this point, let it be an automatic checkout that is slashed off. So what you do, if you internationally or outside abroad, it's called a 401k fund. Around here in Africa, it's called just a pension fund. And whatever percentage your employer is giving you, they match the same if you're contributing. So if you're able to contribute higher, your employer also can contribute higher. That's free money. So you need to maximize on that on 2023. Don't opt out. I hope there are no people opting out, because this is one way of you beating inflation. Number 4, you need to have a strategy of high risk, high return ventures. And these examples of these are stocks, bonds, ETFs. But I want to add something here before we move too fast on this one. I know why a lot of people have not reached the level of the high risk, high return kind of investment is because the season we are in has not been warranting, or rather it's not very encouraging because we don't know how low we're going to go. But then the truth of the matter is everything is cheap right now in the stock market. Everything is down. So I think that would be the best time to buy. However, I wouldn't know when will be the best time to sell. So you only invest money that you don't need or you can afford to lose. But that's also the easiest way to get wealthy rapidly, because if the market heals, and right now we are in the bear market, if you start seeing a bullish kind of a market, then you'll be on the winning side. So don't just disregard the risky kind of investment. It should take part of a portion of your income. May not be very high, probably 15%, 25%. I'll leave that to you. But don't just play safe throughout, because you also need those quantum leaps. You need also to be planning your dices in a way that if an advantage happens in the market, you are a beneficiary. So don't play safe for so long. At the beginning, like I said, we are all in different levels of investment journeys and wealth creation. At the beginning, of course, you can't do that. You need to build your nest first, from the emergency fund to the debt portfolio, whereby if you have already gotten a debt, you need something that will pay your debts in case you don't even have a job. And then thirdly, you need your retirement fund, because you're not going to be as active as this another 20 years to come. So we need to ensure that that fund will be healthy enough to take care of you. And then lastly, number 4, I believe when you have these 3, you need to think of high risk, high return kind of investments. Now, I want to be more specific after letting you know how you should invest, to tell you probably where you might think of. You don't have to follow through, but I'm just giving an idea of where you can invest your money. And number 1 is the stock market. I believe if everything is cheaper or going down, you should invest some of your money in the stocks. Now, this requires a lot of your research, a lot of your fact finding, a lot of your gut feeling, a lot of, what philosophy do you have for investing? Because there are people who in the past they've invested, or their generations before them have invested, and they say stocks is a no-no. So if that is not you, I think it's worth a try. And the reason why I'm saying that is everything is on sale, everything is down. But remember, you need to be prepared to do time in the market. You buy the stocks, but you also be prepared for 5 years to 10 years. I'm just saying, not with accuracy or sure, but I know for sure some of these companies, actually what you need to do, don't invest in unknown companies. Just go for the 5 higher stocks, either in your country or internationally, and just buy a stake. How we get wealthy, how wealth is acquired, first of all, is fast gaining stability by having emergency fund, retirement funds, portfolios for lifestyle expenses. Then after that, if you want to go to the next level of investing, which is security, you need to get into the market. You need to get into the deeper seas, and it's dangerous, but somebody needs to go there if they're ever gonna catch the big fish. All right, if you're gonna catch the big fish, you really need to dive deeper. Okay, number 2, fixed income funds, which are also bonds. The bond fund is your go-to place right now. This one is slightly lower in terms of risk. It's moderate in risk, and preferably do it in a managed account. What's a managed account? A managed account is a fund created in a portfolio way, whereby you don't only buy one bond, you're buying a couple of them. You're buying a couple of fixed income instruments. And these instruments are bonds, fixed deposits, corporate bonds and government bonds, and then also commercial papers, and then fixed deposits that are high return. And if you do this through a fund manager, you are likely to reduce your risk and also have a stable kind of a return. And this is very good for someone who wants to create passive income. If you're planning in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to not be in the rat race again, like the hustle and bustle of waking up and going to work and all that, you can start building your fund. And the best place to start, bonds. All right. Number three, start your side hustle, your business venture, your passion. Hey, you've really worked for other people. It's time you start working also on your side, your empire. If a whistle was blown today and we are told, hey, job is over, or company sold, or downsizing, or whatever, and I don't mean to scare you, where would you go? What would you be doing? It's not even about money anymore. How would you spend your day from morning till evening without going crazy? You need to start your side hustle. Enough said. Number 4, you may not start the side hustle yourself, but you can invest in a startup. Remember, it's all about risk taking. I mean, if you avoid everything, you don't want stocks. You don't want to start your own business because you could lose money. Now other people start a business, even that one you don't want, then you might not be a candidate for wealth. So if you want to get into the game, you can't win by not getting into the game. Find out the businesses. You may not even have the time. If you work in a busy environment like me, you may not have time to do many things. This is the much I can do. And also investing in portfolios in terms of side hustle. As far as side hustles are concerned, I'm passionate about food and restaurants, but I can't do that because I wouldn't even have the time. But if somebody was starting and I do my due diligence and I saw where maybe the location is and I have some funds that I'm ready to lose, this is money that you are not requiring probably in a long time, I can invest in somebody else's venture. So this year, invest in a startup. Help somebody. Even if not even for yourself, we need to build this society. I mean, we need to build wealth. We need to build the economy. That's the right statement. We need to build the economy. I wrote something. America is built on entrepreneurship. Replace that with your country. Your country is going to be built by entrepreneurs. If you don't get to become one, then support one who is building a business, because that's the only way we're going to build and heal the economy. If we all fold hands and we're not manufacturing anything or helping with anything, we're just a bunch of people complaining at a corner somewhere, we are not going to progress. And our children will come into the same cycle and rat race, and their children's children. So you need to invest in somebody's venture if you can't invest in your own. All right, number 5, your education. It took me a minute to understand how important it is for you to keep growing. My goodness, the world is moving at a very high pace. I work with intelligent people and they are forever studying. So sometimes I'm like, wait, if you're not improving yourself, then you're slowly becoming obsolete, and your job is going to be redundant at some point. Whether you're a head of department, CEO, entry level, intern, it doesn't matter. You are on a journey. It's a process, by the way. And the more you keep improving yourself, the higher your chances of getting promoted and going further, or even being able to run your own organization at some point. But if you don't keep on improving yourself, you will eventually be left behind. And I say this is the kind of an year where if you don't improve yourself this year, you will be 10 years behind by December 2023. Don't say you were never told. Invest in your education. And how can you do this? Personal skills. Watch podcasts. Read books, research. Warren Buffett was asked what he feels would be good for him if he could do what he would want to do and he can't do. He said if he could read books faster, if there was a way of placing a book here and the information gets into his brain, probably he would go for that option, because information is in books, life experiences is in somebody's lifestyle is in a lifetime is in a book that you can get a hold of and grasp everything. Not to say that you will get exact of what they went through, but at least you'll have a glimpse of, I think I shouldn't do this. Somebody did this before and it didn't work out very well. Or I need to do it in a better way. So education. Number 6, health. If your body does not operate at its optimum, even that entrepreneurship, you're not going to be able to do it. This is very, very, very serious. Your body is a sum total of what you're putting in it and how you're treating it. And how you treat it is how it's going to treat you back. It's important for your brain activity to be very high. It's important for your body performance, your back, your arms, your legs. And if you have something that it's hereditary or comes from your generation that you know is ailing you at a young age, it's about time you take charge of it and know what could they have done better, not to have probably lost their lives, your loved ones, or operated not optimally because of not doing anything. So reduce the risk of disease by eating well, checkups, sleep well, supplement, meditate, and invest in therapy. Wow. 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 Remember, lean is slick. I didn't say that, by the way. And my last point, real estate. There may never be a time in life that there has been enough information for investing like right now. Everything is available. A click, a touch of a button, you can get all the information you need. There are experts out there that are showing us where is the land, where are the off-plan buildings. Recently, a client of mine came from abroad and they wanted to sit with me and look at how their portfolio is performing. And they were just here for 1 month and I could see their excitement as they were visiting various off-plan houses and, investing. And here at home, some of us look at those houses and we're like, I don't want to lose my money. How about you do the research and see how stable that company is? Not everybody who has invested in those houses has lost money. Not everybody who has invested in land, the land has not yielded. The only thing you need to do when you're investing in real estate, don't invest money you need very quickly. And don't attach the real estate investment to some important bill that you need to pay, like school fees or medical bill. Because when now you want to change it into liquid cash, it's not as easy as you think. But I think if you do your due diligence and get a good piece of land that is appreciating at a good rate, or you get to invest in a company that is building homes. If you don't have a home, you can pay slowly and eventually you'll have a home. You can also invest so that you can be able to rent out. But I think there's still some room for us creating wealth in the real estate. I'm part of the people who feared a lot because of what we've gone through in the last 5 years in the real estate world here in our country. But I've also realized that some people continue to invest in it and they have been making some good returns. I work for a company that has extensive investments in the real estate world, and some of them are such a success so far that started 3 years ago. So it's worth a look. That's what I'm saying. Get an expert. I'll try and look for a plug to put down here. Someone I know who is very knowledgeable in these land issues, real estate issues. If you don't want to buy the parcel of land itself, you can also invest in REITs. REIT is a fund that is attached to real estate, whereby you get to buy a unit or units that, if that particular parcel of land or house is making returns, you are also benefiting by not even owning anything. Good. And that is the end of today's episode on where and how to invest your money in 2023. I do hope that you have gotten something. This was an exciting one for me. I made it as short as possible. I didn't want it to be more than 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I'm looking forward to moving my podcast into interviewing people who are in this field that I talk about, the stock exchange, the real estate world, even the banking sector, for good borrowing rates and stuff like that, and what to do before you take a loan, circles and all that. And I'm working very hard, and I'm asking for your support by subscribing, sharing, commenting, so that we can grow. So I'm wishing you a lovely day, night, week, month ahead, and may 2023 become your best year yet financially. God bless you. Bye.